This is Boxing Tickets NA in association with SB Sports Chaco. We're here at Evolution Boxing Club in Carrick. I'm delighted to be joined finally once again with the main man, Anthony Cacace. It's been a long 8 months since we last spoke. The Sunday after
11 months?
8 August. August, aye. So obviously we spoke in your mum and dad's garden, obviously after a couple of espressos, after your British title won against Leon Woodstock. But I'm sure you're obviously delighted now. You've probably known for a long time you're going to be on this card. I'm sure it's obviously just now it's out in the public domain. I'm sure you just can't wait to get going.
That's it. What a platform to return to. 94,000 sold out arena, Wembley. I've known I'm on this card for probably the last 7 weeks, 6-7 weeks. We've been training away. I was out sparring Michael Conlon there, so as soon as we get back from, or was it London, we were straight into camp and working hard.
Probably a good way for you to start camp as well. Obviously preparing Mick, obviously he came up short in his fight with Leewood, but what a way to start sort of camp and helping Mick prepare. Sort of maybe a good topic to start on. Sort of, what was your thoughts on obviously the fight? I guess it's one of them where, you as a fighter, you sort of go and you go, well, what could Mick have done better? He probably done everything he probably aimed to do and probably more. He was boxing very, very well.
Yeah, no, I thought that Mick was unbelievable. Just unfortunate the way it ended. But again, this is boxing. But no, I think Michael showed that what he has and that he's definitely going to be a world champion. I thought he showed a glimpse of a superstar there, like unbelievable.
Sensational, obviously, performance, I guess. In some ways, for you, it's probably another sort of pat in the back, sort of, on the accomplishments for you, because Lee Wood's always been renowned as a big puncher. You've always been renowned as a big puncher, though your record wouldn't suggest you are, but you're obviously a big puncher, and for Mick to bring you into camp, obviously, in that respect, in the same way, obviously, Carl did for, obviously, Jimmy O'Hearn, I guess it's like a backhanded compliment to say of, obviously, how great potential you have, and I know Frank Warren's, obviously, the start of the year obviously predicts a big year for you. He wants to obviously have a world title fight at the end of the year. Yeah. Is these wee things sort of help you in the background preparing for fights now? You're getting in the later years of obviously boxing at 33. That obviously you have a promoter finally behind you that obviously wants to push you on the world honours.
It feels good. It feels good. Obviously, it feels good to be invited into these type of fighters' camps and to help them prepare. Yeah, it feels amazing, and it also feels good to have Frank pushing behind the scenes for me, and I've never really had that, as I've explained before, so it all sounds good, but sounding good and making things happen are a complete different thing, so we'll just have to see how things pan out.
Definitely is, and you've been in camp for 10 weeks now, so we're 17 days out from the fight, so you're sort of now starting to taper down and sort of get ready, but obviously, speaking with Ian, obviously your coach here as well, he's sort of probably nearly nervous in the fact of walking out at Wembley, such an occasion, probably so many fighters probably never really get the dreams and goals and things, like whenever you first started boxing, I know you're just 10 years past as a pro there as well from your debut. Yeah. You never thought you'd probably walk out in front of Wembley?
No, I definitely didn't, but it's crazy the way things happen. I mean, as we were speaking about right before this interview, it's like we were up at a mental health briefing a couple of years back, and I was near enough retired and out of the game, never wanting to fight again, and it's funny to look at myself here now, and after a British champion now, first defence, getting into a fight in front of 94,000 on Wembley. It's crazy how this game works, you know what I mean? But I just appreciate everything God's given me, and I'm just going to keep trooping on.
It's sort of similar to, I was sort of speaking to, although Lee Wood's interview ended up, was another one that we obviously messed up in the fact with no sound, but I was striking comparisons between you and him because you were both British champions last year, and you were obviously struggling to get fights. Obviously, you've always been an avoided fighter. Lee Wood was struggling to get fights, and then he got an opportunity against Kanzu and became a world champion. Do you see the comparisons you can sort of have? You're both big punchers. You've probably both been sort of underdeveloped sort of times. You're both pros at 10 years as well. Mm-hmm. Do you sort of look to people like probably Lee Wood in a way and going, well, after 10 years, he's become a world champion, that obviously, it's written in the sort of stars there for you, but you need to keep working hard?
Yeah, it's similar enough. I think Lee won the world title when he was 34, is it? Or what is it?
33, 34.
33, 34. So it can be done, you know. People, I'm definitely not over the hill by any stretch of the imagination. So, I mean, it's all about opportunity. Lee's with what's his name,
Eddie
Eddie
Hearn and
Hearn,
son.
and he presented with an opportunity against Khan, which no one probably thought he was going to win. But even I knew, you know, Lee could do it. Do you know what I mean? He's got all the skills and attributes to be a world champion as he is now. So, and he went in, he shocked the world. So anything can happen in this boxing game. It's a funny old game, but yeah.
Definitely, particularly when you look at Kiko Martinez, obviously, you know, showing that there was life still in an old dog. Obviously, he lost his world title there again to Josh Warrington, but he's shown that age isn't a defining number in the sport, and it's up to obviously the beliefs and the ability you have and where you achieve that. Obviously, your opponent, it's probably mixed sort of in a way. Whenever it was announced yesterday, the flyers come out to say it's for the WBO Intercontinental, but the press release come out to say it's international belt. What is the crack with that? Obviously, is it international belt or is it intercontinental?
Um,
Doesn't matter, really, does it?
I don't really care what it is, to be fair. Like, it's just I've got a hard opponent in front of me here. I just want to win the fight, but I'm hearing it's for the international.
Doesn't really matter as long as it's a WBO ranking. It's getting you obviously closer to your pursuit of dreams and fighting for world title.
Yeah.
What do you know of your opponent? I know he obviously is a former world champion in 2013, super bantamweight, and obviously he's now fighting at super feather. What do you know of Jonathan Romero?
I don't know much. Obviously, I've looked back. I watched that fight where he got beat by Kiko. You know, Kiko took the title of him because I was in the same camp as Frampton at the time, who would have been fighting the winner near enough. So, yeah, I watched that. But as for everything else, I don't really know much about him. He was an Olympian. He's got very good amateur pedigree. You know, I'm expecting a really, really, really tough fight. The hardest fight in my life. It's different in styles here than what I usually fought, as in like boxer, rather than someone who's going to come at me. So, just about mixing things up. He's fought right up to welterweight, 142. Mm-hmm. So, you know, he was super bantamweight 10 years ago, so I don't take any of that crap into consideration. So, like, he's obviously still got it, and I'm expecting a really, really tough, hard fight.
Because obviously it's probably his final chance as well of obviously getting, you know, much like Kiko Martinez and getting another chance at a world title. You know, you obviously have to take in precaution and going, I'm going to expect the very best Jonathan Romero. You know, his dreams of obviously fighting 94,000 in Wembley as well. You know, you obviously have to expect the very best of him. Obviously 8 months out of the ring as well, you know, been given such a tough task. You know, I don't like to keep referring back to obviously people, but, you know, number one in the WBO rankings is Archie Sharp, and sort of, you know, not discrediting fighters, but obviously he's got an easy way of his ranking. Is it sort of, I guess it sort of depends on who you're with sometimes and on where you get fights and things like that. Like, you've been given a really tough task to get top 15 ranked in the WBO. What do you make of obviously the fact that people can have easy fights and get easy rankings compared to obviously you having to get a tough fight to get into the top 15?
It's just mental, isn't it? It's crazy. It really is sometimes who you're with and who can push you the most. Archie's had easy enough opponents, you know. How he got the number one ranking is beyond me, but he's ranked and that's it. So, fair play to him, but it doesn't matter anyway. I mean, for me, it's more the experience of this fight, you know what I mean? It's like, this guy has been there, he's been at the very top of the sport, you know, albeit he hasn't had that type of luck since, but he went back into the amateurs, he fought in the World Series of Boxing, nearly qualified for the Olympics again, you know, it's like, he's full of great pedigree, he's great all-rounder, so I'm expecting a hard fight, and yeah, it's weird sometimes people get easier fights than others, but it is what it is.
And obviously 17 days out, you know, like you've headlined a card, you're now potentially looking at co-main on this card. Obviously not looking too far ahead from John Romero, but, you know, I'm looking at the Frampton Avalos poster here behind us. You know, it was your last fight at home on 20th of February 2015. Do you want another fight at home?
Of course I would. I would love to fight, even at the Fela or something. What's that? That's 7 years ago I fought in Belfast. I mean, doesn't even really make any sense, does it? Like, why there's lots of the other kids and lads fighting here at Belfast, so why shouldn't I? I'm an Andy Town man, you know. I'm training in Carrick and albeit whatever else, but like, that's the field is right where I live. Get me on it. I'll sell the tickets. Simple as that. Be nice to get home.
Definitely would. I guess it's I know when Carl re-signed with Frankie, obviously was given the opportunity for Windsor Park. You know, you obviously, I guess, you know, when you're victorious in the 23rd of April, it's right, Frank, give me a homecoming. I want to fight at home.
Yeah, well, I don't look past. You know yourself. I don't even like to talk about that. So I just want to fight. I want to get Romero out of the way, and we'll hopefully be nice to get on a fight card at home.
And finally, before we let you go, because I know we're obviously you're finished training, you want to probably eat and everything else, but obviously the partnership with Ian and Carrick here, you obviously linked up for your first fight, you know, back in August, and obviously now your second fight. How's things been going here? Like, it just seems to be sort of like a marriage, sort of made in heaven. It just seems to be that Ian knows everything about you and how you tick. Yep. Is it probably something you nearly wished you'd sort of happened 10 years ago?
Yes. The thing is, in boxing, it's all about being comfortable. And I come down here and I feel comfortable. Yeah, I've got everything I need here. It's a breakaway. It's, you know, it's all right, albeit it's Carrickfergus. It's only down the road. But sometimes whenever you're in this, yeah, and you've got a fight like this, you know, you need to take yourself out of your comfort zone and like come down here and get away from the family, you know. But I've become very comfortable here with the people and whatever else. So it is. It's just. It's good for me. It makes sense for me, and it's handy. You know, if I do miss home or whatever, I can really just jump in the car and fly up the road and see the children or whatever else. It's, for me, this is where I want to be, and this is where I finish up.
And obviously, you know, finally one thing on Wembley. Obviously, your kids being able to see you walking out at Wembley. You know, it's something you'll be able to tell grandkids and everything else. I boxed in Wembley. You know, everybody thinks of Wembley and thinks of England and everything else. But you fighting in Wembley and you know, I guess probably when you're walking out the ring, you're sort of pinching yourself and going, "What am I even doing here?" You know, it's like, you know, your dreams of becoming a footballer, you know, sort of coming true. You're walking out and, you know, and everything else. But you know, been in that rigmarole of obviously being involved with the Tyson Fury fight as well. I guess, you know, seeing him singing and stuff in the ring and things like that. I guess you sort of be pinching yourself next week and going, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy. It's mental because like I think this is the biggest show there's ever been. Is it?
In Wembley, 94,000.
In Wembley. So I mean, it's great to be on a show that's making history as well. So listen. But again, I've boxed for years and years and years. Even that won't faze me. So I'm just looking forward to getting in and getting it done.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks very much for your time, Anto. And obviously we can't wait for 2 weeks and 3 days and even another new belt strapped around your waist.
Let's hope so. Can't wait.